What's up, everybody? This is DJ LaFave, and we are going to make things happen with VDJ Scripts. This is the basic level course, basically going to go over all of the things of what VDJ Scripts are. We're going to explain the verbs and commands. We're going to do live demos. We're going to do touch portal integration to show you how you can use these scripts to control Virtual DJ from the touch portal application. There's a lot to learn. It's not going to cover every single script, obviously, because this is the tool that makes Virtual DJ the most customizable software platform out there today, tomorrow, 10 years ago, and probably 10 years from now. Virtual DJ is also free to download, free to install, free to use, so long as you're not using a MIDI controller. So even with a MIDI controller, you get 10 minutes of use time, but if it's free, you guys can do these. All these scripts can be configured to your keyboard. So you really have so much control, so much control. Let's dive into it. So what are VDJ scripts? It's the language and the commands that are written for Virtual DJ to understand how to do something. How does Virtual DJ know how to play when you push a button? Well, there's a command for that. It's used in skins, keyboard, shortcuts, control mappers, and like I said earlier, touch portal. It's designed to be simple, yet very versatile. And we're going to see from a very, very broad landscape how it can be very versatile. So the most basic element of a VDJ script, I can't say that word today for some reason, is a verb. It's a verb. There is a complete list right here. I'm linking it in the description of this video. Every single thing, I just got to push this button here. These are all of the different actions that you can do to tell Virtual DJ to do something. Look, the list is keep going. I got to go faster, There are so many different things. Plus, shout out to Virtual DJ for finally putting this all on one page. You don't have to hop around the different pages. A lot of times I'll just do a search on the internet page itself to see what I want to do, whether it has to do with volume or cue points or loops or whatnot. That's how you do it. It's all done in right there. All right, so definitely check that out after you're done with this video, just to get an idea of all the things that you can do. So you've got verbs and then you've got commands. So the command, basically the basic command could consist of only one verb. So you could tell a custom button inside of Virtual DJ, play or pause. Or whenever I touch this button, play or pause. If it's playing, pause it, whatever. Then there's advanced, which verbs are combined with modifiers and parameters. Don't let this get too daunting for you. I'm here to show you what that all means. And then, of course, you get to tinker with it. So you can tell it, all right, when I push this button, I want deck 1 to play. I want to push this button and I want the crossfader to go to 100%, right? Let's go do a demo of it. So the first one, the basic command is play or pause. Let's open up Virtual DJ. And to get to where you have to go today, what I want to do is I want you guys to see these buttons right here. These are called custom buttons on the Pro Skin. Yes, got to use the Pro Skin. I was tinkering with this one earlier, so we're going to, here's a little sneak peek of some things we're doing later. So I'm going to write in here, you put the button name in first. We're just going to put this as the example. This is going to be the button that I'm going to put all of our commands into. The action, when I touch this button, I want it to play. You'll notice that right here, it actually shows you a couple of the different, it kind of helps you. There's a little description of what that verb does. Sometimes I wish the description was a little bit more descriptive, but very, very good to have that as a little help. So we got that. All right, you don't have to save it. It automatically saves. So when we push this button, the active deck B, is going to play. It's that simple. So we're going to push it, and it's playing. Ooh, yeah. Turn my speakers down here. All right, we may not have it coming across, but there we go. It's playing. Why didn't it come across? Oh, I know. Master. We need to turn that up. There we go. Now you got it. All right, cool. So when we click example, it plays, and then we have no pause with it. All right, so that was the basic. Now, let's do an advanced one, the advanced one. If we want to make the crossfader, we want to make it do something, right? This is just the example. We're going to show you a little bit further into this. So if I go here, example, and then I just write crossfader, and then we're going to go 100%. And then that's it. And I'm going to show you this move. So this is going to be all the way to the left. When I push this, it's going to go to 100%, which inside of Virtual DJ is actually right in the middle. There we, oh, it's the other side, 100%. And 100 will go right to the center. So then we'll bring it around back. We'll push this button, and there you go. So you see the crossfader right there move. Do it one more time for you. And that is just an example of adding a advanced item to it, like a parameter. All right, back to the lesson. Back to the lesson at hand. Here we go. All right, so we did that. Chained commands. This is used to create more complex commands, and there's 3 different types of operators you can use. You use the and, which is the ampersand. You can do a question mark or the semicolon. And we'll show you different options for how you go about really connecting stuff and what that all means. So the and button actually just combines comments. It combines commands. So if we have command 1 and command 2 and command 3, Virtual DJ is going to read that as I'm going to do command 1, then I'm going to do command 2, then I'm going to do command 3. Very, very straightforward, right? If you never knew what those and signs meant. And then you also have the question mark and the semicolon. This is kind of, if you never heard the term query, it's basically to check on the status of something, right? It's if you're a coder, if you've ever been into coding, it's like an if-else command. So if we had a script that was written out that said command 1, question mark, command 2, semicolon, command 3. What that's going to do is it's going to query the state of command 1. So for command 1, if the result is true, then let's go do command 2. If it's not true, if it's false, let's go do command 3. So what does that look like as an actual demo? Something that's useful for you guys to know right here. So if I'm checking on deck 1, right? This is just very, very simplistic. Deck 1, is it playing? That's the question. Is deck 1 playing? If it is playing, pause it. If not, play it for me. All right, that's very, very simplistic. So we're going to go in there and we're going to go and type out that command for you right now. So the command right here, like I said, is going to be very simplistic. It is pulling up things left and right. Here we go. Back to there. Got a lot of windows open, man. A lot of windows. All right. So if the command is, here we go. We say deck 1 play question mark. If it's playing, let's go and pause it. If it's not playing, go play it. All right, so we can see right now that deck 1 is not playing. So when I push this button, it's going to check it and it will play it. And when we push it again, it's going to see if it's playing, and it will be, so it's going to pause it. Oh, bring the crossfader over. See that? So that you're basically telling it to check the status, the state of where something is going on your virtual DJ software. Do you have a loop enabled? Yes? All right, get out of that loop. No? Add a loop here. Very, very simple. Right? I hope I'm breaking this all down for you to a hopefully more basic level to get that understanding, the general understanding. Very, very general. All right, next up, we're going to do a demo of an if-and statement. So you see how there is this double and sign here, the ampersands, right? So basically this checks if 2 things are true, then do this. If not, do that. So if deck 1 is playing and there's an active loop, then I want you to pause it. If deck 1 is playing and there is not, if one of those 2 is not true, then I want you to pause it. So we're going to show you that right now. So the command is right in here. We're going to go hop on in right here. So we said deck 1, right? Play. Deck 1 play. And then we want to also say, are we also in a loop? Question mark. If we are, pause it. If not, play. So you're going to see that there is no loop currently set up on deck 1. So it's going to play. Now, if we had a loop enabled on deck 1, let's go add a loop in. Make a little, come on, loop. Come on, loop. Go. Out, in, play, loop. There we go. Out. So we have a loop now. So now a loop is playing. So the deck is playing and there's an active loop. It should pause. And it does. So that's how you get those 2 statements kind of together to write a more complex script. So now we have actions versus queries, right? So commands can be used to perform an action as a query depending on the context. So if you have a keyboard shortcut with the command play, that's an action. When we push the keyboard button, it's going to play. Now, if we had a mapping of a control's LED light where we wanted it to be lit up if something is playing, we're going to be querying the status of play. If play is active, then the light should be on. If it's not active, then the light should be off. So that when you get more in depth with MIDI mapping, or if you wanted to, I don't know, maybe this is something I'm working on in the Touch portal to see if we can get it to listen to active states inside a virtual DJ. That's pretty cool. That would be pretty cool. So like on your actual mobile device or tablet, you can change the colors, or you can have other events trigger off based on what's happening inside of your scene. So if you were streaming a set on Twitch and you go into a loop roll, then your screen starts to roll because you can trigger off an event for that. So many cool interactive features you can do that are automated by whatever you're doing inside of virtual DJ software. That's what we are trying to get to. That is the points, ladies and gentlemen. If you are in here and you haven't liked or subscribed, that is kind of the in-depth level, the extra level, the next stuff, the outside-of-the-box thinking that we're trying to get to. All right, so again, some commands, they can return a boolean. A boolean, it's a value. It's either true or false or an alphanumerical value. So for crossfader, it will return the value, if you're doing a query on it, of between 0.0 and 1.0. So those are the values where you can kind of say if my crossfader is in the middle, it's at 0.5. So it can return that value if it was a part of the command structure. But it also could say true or false. If it's greater than halfway, like going over to my right deck, then provide true. If it's not past my fit midway point to my right deck, then return true or false. I don't remember what I just said. So many trues and falses. Trues and falses. Here we go. Now, parameters. Parameters is a big deal. This is how you really get the customization of if you wanted to load a specific file, or if you wanted to check on certain things, or do fader, crossfader stuff, adjusting your levels. Parameters is where it's at. There's six different kinds that you can do: text, boolean, time, integer, decimal, and percentage. And we're going to look at a couple of those in our live demo coming up right after these tips. These wonderful tips brought to you by the fine folks at Virtual DJ. So most of the time, decimal and percent are treated as the same after dividing by the percentage by 100, of course. So there are a few exceptions, like the verb pitch, where the pitch 100% sets the pitch to the middle. So you heard me fumble that earlier. It wasn't the crossfader, it's the pitch. So the center of the pitch at 100% is right at the middle, 200% is all the way at the top, and 0 is down to the bottom. So you could do decimal point or percent with that. But pitch 1.0 sets the pitch to the maximum of the slider. It'll send it to that 200% level. So it gets kind of tricky in the weeds, but the best part about this is you could just trial and error the crap out of this until you get where you want to be with it. So I hope that's at least fun for you. All right, so this is a demo of using the different types of booleans, right, or parameters, excuse me. So like for text right now, we're going to say for the left deck, I want you to load this file, and there's the file path. I gave an example here, but I want you guys to actually see how you can find the actual file for these things. So let's just take this as an example. I'm going to right click on this right here, and if you go to File Operations and then you say Open in Explorer, so when it opens up in Explorer, tick. Explorer. There you go. Explorer right there. It shows you it right here. This is on Windows, right? On Windows. If I right-click on this and I say Copy as Path, now the path to that actual file has been copied. It makes it very simple to quickly grab the full path of where that specific file is. This could be useful if you were at a birthday party and you got to play 50 Cent in the club. You know, you just push a button, it loads and plays. It's very cool and simple. So again, let's right-click on our custom button and let's go put this in here. So the actual script that we are going to write is, we can keep it as deck left load, and then all you have to do is hit Control V. because you have the quotes already in there. So it has the full file path right there. So we are telling it to load number 19 Pocket Grove, right? So let me make sure I unload this. All right, so when I push this button, for example, it's going to load, make sure it's not here either, on the left deck, this one over here, Pocket Grove. So we click it, and it's loaded. Now, you could do some even more advanced stuff with that actual command. If we go to hot queues, right, and if I went to this point right here, we just set a hot queue, and if we go back into the example, we could say that right there, right like that, and then we put one of the modifiers in it and go to Q1, right? Pretty cool. So now we get to the actual part in the song. So I'm going to unload this. When it loads up, when we hit this, it's going to load the song and go to Q.1. There we go. It's there. It did that to me last time on the lesson when I did this. We do it again, and just taking a second to, there we go. It's there. You see how it is loading up right there? I don't know why the graphics are being all funky on it, but it is loading up to Q1. It's a Lefebvre computer problem. It's not a virtual DJ problem. Don't worry. All right, so the next one I'm going to show you is auto mix off. This is a Boolean. We are going to tell it to, if something is actively going, to turn it off. So you'll see over here, I'm going to do the code first. So the code that we're going to put in here is, we've got auto mix, and we're just going to say turn off. So when we activate auto mix, activated, got our tracks going, I'm going to click it, and it's going to turn it off. Now auto mix has been turned off, but we didn't add the command to stop playing the track, but auto mix is no longer enabled. So it's very, very simplistic right there. Let's do another one now. This one is for time. We're going to show you the time on this little code by doing a scratch. So we're going to say, hey, virtual DJ, perform a scratch. And I want you to perform this scratch for 1,200 milliseconds. All right, 1,200 milliseconds. Right there. And it is scratching. Sounds terrible. Absolutely terrible. All right, the next one is we're going to do an integer for the next one. So the next one we are going to say for effect select. This is just showing you the examples of what it can do. We wanted to kind of comb through the effects by one at a time. So here's my effects right here. When I click this, it's going up through my different effects. Got to start it from the top. Start it from the top. It's going to the next one, to the next one, to the next one, to the next one. See that? So if you kind of wanted to comb through, if we did this one, if we did right here, we did +1, right? +1 on that button. And on this one, we did -1. I know they should be backwards, but we'll call this one minus right there. So now when I'm over here, I can go delay, going forward, backwards. You can kind of do like a little arrow back and forth between the two. This could also work for volume if you want to turn the level up, level down, whichever you want to do. Okay, let's go get into the decimal. What does decimal look like? Well, let's do the crossfader as the example. So we're going to type in crossfader 0.5. All right, so crossfader 0.5. That should send the crossfader halfway through, 0.5. So when I click the button, there it goes. Click it, bring it on over, click the button, and it does it. So I'm not lying to you here. Now let's do, for the final part of our parameter demo right here, we're going to do percentages. So if I say 50% for the crossfader, again, we're going to pull the crossfader over. We're going to push the button, and it brings it to 50%. So that is how you show how you type these things in. So just a simple, your parameter for this specific script, simply 50%. All right. Back to the lesson. Now, but before we get back to this lesson, help this channel grow. You guys have been great so far. The returning viewers, I've loved having you guys here. I hope you find this helpful. If you don't find this helpful, then I want you to hit the caps lock button right now, and I want you to shout at me inside of the comments of how terrible this is and how everybody is more dumb by watching this. I don't think that's the case. Instead, put the caps lock on and scream at how much this is maybe helping you, showing you something you didn't know. Maybe, or whatever. I appreciate it. I appreciate all your love. Now, variables. This is what I want to learn more on. I don't know enough about it, but I love that I know that it can do it. Variables are great because if you store a specific variable, it means you could spit it out somewhere. It's taking data inside a virtual DJ, such as the song name, right? And then that means we could possibly send that out. If we could start collecting the song name, send that out the touch portal, you now have an easy way of either just capturing your set list in a text file automatically. You could display it on screen and format it however you want. People can ask in the chat, hey, what song is this? And it'll send it to them immediately. And that's just a simplistic example. There's a lot that you could do with variables, so I'm excited to learn more about it. So I'm just trying to give you the overview of them, which you've got global and you've got local. You've got persistent global and you've got persistent local. If you want to go to the webpage and learn more about that, I'm going to put the wiki link in the description. I don't know enough to actually explain any of it right now, but basically variables are going to be kick-ass. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. All right, and then all types of variables are persistent during the whole time virtual DJ is running. So they're always going to be around. They'll be there, but I believe they only store during your actual uptime of virtual DJ runtime. Now, brackets. Bracket. So brackets can be used in scripts to break the logic into separate threads. So basically, we could tell it to wait a second and play or pause if the action on deck 1, if deck 2 is playing and pause, or deck 1 is playing and pause. So if we put that actual script into it in our little demo here, let's actually write this out. So basically, it's gonna. I'll just show you. It's the funny example that Virtual DJ gives during their on their webpage, but it does show it. It does showcase it. So let's go over here. Let's go into Virtual DJ. Let's go into the example button right here. We're going to zoom in, and this is brackets. So we're going to say wait 1,000 milliseconds and play underscore pause brackets and action deck 1 question mark deck 2 play. The logic on this is always escaped me, like being a real computer programmer, but I hope that this lesson has kind of showed you how you need to think for how virtual DJ is how it accepts the data, right? How does it accept the logic? So if you could take what I just taught you and turn it back into those words, it might help you on your scripting journey. So right now, if it's not playing, yep, and it waited that second. Sounds terrible. So if it's not playing, play it, and then a second later, play the next deck. So we're gonna play both of them, and it does what the script says it's gonna do. Neither are playing. Play one deck, then start the other deck. It did it, and then stop. I mean, it really is what it says it was going to do. It really was. All right, so let's go and bring that back on up for you. Turn that down. Now, how does this work? I promise you for Touch Portal integration. I know this is a long video. I'm very glad that you guys stuck around because it's a lot of information. It's a lot of information, a whole lot of information. So how does this all work within Touch Portal and everything that we have just discussed? I'm glad you asked. Now it's my turn to show you. So inside Touch Portal, you guys can watch this video here. I'm going to put it in the link in the description, where I kind of show you that the plugin exists and how you can go find it and use it. So in Touch Portal, we're going to create a button. On the button, we're going to look for Virtual DJ, and we're going to execute a script. So this is basically everything that I just taught you is now, this is where you can put it in. You can put it in as a keyboard, MIDI mapper, skin, whatever. But I'm going to show you right now on Virtual DJ. So we're going to say play underscore pause. And this is for any deck at all right there. And we're just going to call this one play pause. Make sure you name it. And then there is the button. So when I push this on my Touch Portal, on my phone, it's going to play the active deck, which right now the active deck is B. Playing. Pausing. Playing. Pausing. Simple, very simple example use case of how you can get that going. So again, I'm DJ LaFave. Don't want to make this video any longer than it has to be. Eat, sleep, LaFave, repeat. I will see you on my live streams. That's all I got for today. Out!